Hey everybody, here Renee Sullivan. We have Jerry Long, who's in Colorado with visions of moving to Alice Springs, Australia. We have Aslak, who's in Norway, and David, who's in the Czech Republic. We have a wonderful topic today that David actually mentioned. Us talking about is knowing your numbers. So it's definitely something that, is really important in your business, because if you don't have numbers, you don't have a goal, you can't aim or shoot for anything. So David, since you came up with the topic, I didn't know if you wanted to get started and talk about what you wanted to address as far as how you look at your numbers, or anything that you wanted to share with us about knowing our numbers.
Actually this, hi guys, firstly, and I thought about this today because actually I was talking to a couple of people in the last few days, and there were actions that people are doing online, or we as business owners are doing, and sometimes we don't see the intent behind it. We don't see why we're doing it. And so I kept asking, the conversation went along, and I said, okay, so why are you doing this? What's the purpose of it, right? And they thought that they were giving me an answer, but it was more general and more general and more general. So I literally had to say, okay, fine, it's exactly, I'll give you an example, but here it goes. If I'm generating or I'm sending paid traffic to my business, I want leads out of them. So that's my main goal. Now, whether I make sales or anything else is an outcome of the goal. But I'm still looking at the initial reason or the intent behind why I'm sending or doing that specific action. So more than anything else, knowing your numbers in this sense, right? What are we doing? Are you just doing tasks on a daily basis that have no outcome? Or do we do things that actually give us an outcome? So okay, I need to do this for the next week in order for me, to reach a certain goal. And you can have short-term goals, you can have long-term goals with it. But knowing our numbers and knowing our intent behind it is really important, I think. I don't know what you guys think about it, but definitely from my side, I see that there are a lot of people who are blindly doing things, but not understanding why they need to do it, right?
Yep. And you mentioned a good thing about like the tracking of the leads. It's one of the first things that I tell people to focus on. Focus on the number of leads you're getting every single day. Whether it's paid or free traffic, it really doesn't matter, but you want to be looking at that first, to try to focus in the beginning on like the signups and the money you're going to make could be frustrating for someone in the very beginning. So I really talk to them about, okay, as long as you're, what you're doing in your daily activity, if you're making videos, if you're, buying traffic and you're getting people leads in your contacts, that's progress and that's success for you right now. Then you can move on. And as you move on and progress in not just your skills, but the more traffic you can buy or the more content you can put out there to get the leads, then you can increase those numbers. But it's really important for people to have a starting base, because everybody starts at zero. I started at zero just like everybody else. I know you did. Everybody starts at zero. So it's really important for those that don't have any guidelines, to give them guidelines. And I don't know if people have different opinions with me about that and focusing on leads. If you do, please feel free to share that. But I know that with myself and how I teach others, I really like to talk to people about that.
Yeah, I think more than anything else from my side, it is really because we're in a world where we want instant gratification, right? So we want to see results. But at times you need to literally have your numbers in place in order for you to gradually step up, gradually see those results. So I think, knowing your numbers in this sense, even if you're putting out videos on a daily basis, what is the intent of that video? What do you want? What is the outcome of it? How many videos do I need to put out in order for me to get that outcome? So it's again backtracking the whole thing. But if it's not clearly defined on each strategy that you're doing, what is the purpose? And maybe I will share with you guys the conversation I was having with this person was specifically with Facebook groups. So I said, what's your intent behind that? Oh, I just want to network with people. It's not getting you anywhere, right? That's not helping anybody, that's not helping you. It's delaying your process of actually seeing results, and ultimately it'll join the 99 or 98% of the people who get frustrated. And so what's your intent? What is there a purpose behind it? You can use Facebook to generate leads, definitely, but what's your purpose behind it? So know your numbers in that sense, right? For me, it's definitely a mindset change, and when I know specifically what I'm aiming at and how long am I going to do it, it really helps me. For example, the system that I've built right now, I said for the next year, every single month, minimum budget is aside, and that's it. And I plan it a month in advance, so it doesn't. I don't worry about it, right? So today I'm sitting here. Technically, for the whole month of July, I know that I'm going to be generating leads. I can focus on the things that I want to, because I know that I'm going to get X amount of leads every single week. So it really helps to know that those kind of targets to put aside, whether it's a budget or whether it's a numbers game that you're doing with YouTube. If you want to have 1,000 subscribers, how do you go to get to 1,000 subscribers? But like literally identifying those goals and identifying those numbers is something that keeps you in motion, keeps you doing things.
And you mentioned something about when people were talking about being in Facebook groups to like network with other people. It's very interesting you mentioned that, because I recently joined BNI, which is Business Networking International, and they are very systematic ways of networking. And if they didn't have the systematic way, people would just like, it's a referral based organization. You go in there, there's one person per profession. So like the BNI I'm in, there could be no other internet marketers. Now there could be other marketers, but in different aspects. But we go there because we all want to increase our business. We all want referrals. So if you go there thinking you're just going to make friends, you don't belong in BNI. Okay, although that happens, but they keep it very specific. Like they give you specific numbers to go for it each week. Like they want, one referral a week. They want you to be educating yourself. They call them CEUs. They want you to be doing what they call one-to-ones with other members, like getting to know. But if those rules, I should say, were not in place, people would just show up and it would just be like a, let's get together with friends things. No, we're there for business, although we have fun doing it in the process. But it's important that you have the numbers to work toward. We know, a certain amount of things that we educate ourselves on, we get points, we get numbers for that. So if like we read a certain book that they suggest, or they have webinars, and if we go to that, we get credits for that. And it's a good way to look at that, and it also brings more results. So you're right. You don't just, and you have to treat your business as a business. So if you're a marketer and you're in Facebook groups just wanting to make friends, that's not going to get, like David said, that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to have a very specific goal in mind. Yes, you want to increase your network, but eventually you're going to need to talk about business. Okay, you're in there to say, hey, this is a networking group, and it's okay to talk about a business in a professional way, depending on how that group is. Now, like, there's spam rules, I'm sure, in some of them, but like there's ways to communicate with people in the right way, in an efficient way, and get what you want out of that. And it's not just making friends. Trust me, it's not.
Also,
yeah, go ahead, Aslak.
Also, knowing the numbers, it's also important to know the numbers on what kind of ads, who works, where do you generate leads. I can just show you here actually what example. If I find the share screen button, here we have it, I think. Yeah, here. Here, for example, in Twitter, if you have ads or anything in here, you can go to up here to the photo here and go to analytics, you can go in here and watch every clicks and impressions on every single tweet. And if you use paid marketing, for example, here you can go in and watch the numbers. Of course, I haven't been in here for a while, but let's see here. You see the impressions are quite good here. And of course, now what I should click on are behind the bar with the heads here, so I can't see it. Let's see if I can do a... no, yeah. Of course, this is just messing up, but you have this this tweet. This is a every Sunday I tweet this tag. Is a influencer who let you, for example, get the tweets posted to all her followers, so long you don't have any marketing link in it. But you can see the activity on this tweet, for example, is 3,106 impressions. Engagements are 24, likes 11, and retweets are 6. Retweets are very valuable, actually. So that's one thing you can do. I also did a test on something called traffic ad bar. That's just crap traffic. You must click manually for every ad. And here you can see the unique clicks here. And I sat there and clicked it for 5 hours almost. A bored Saturday evening. If you go in here and watch the traffic quality, you see this is, yeah, not the best, but there are traffic from all over the world mostly. You see the countries here.
All I see is Twitter. I don't know what else anyone else sees, or now it's just you, but that's okay. I mean, you could use that with any, like you could do analytics in Facebook as well if you have like a Facebook group. Knowing your, like oh, there you go. There it is. That's click. Yeah. Go ahead. Ask.
So here we have traffic ad bar links here, and now I'm on another place here. So not sure where it happened. This is a link I haven't used yet. So where did I have that link? I just had it up here. Yeah. No, forget it. But anyway. If you sending traffic to a link or something who never works, you have to track it, because if you that's knowing the numbers, because if you get a lot of money spent on useless traffic, why do it?
I know way back I was using a traffic source that some people were saying were great, and I did some testing on my own, and I like just tracked results, and I was not getting them. And I'm like, oh, I know there's a lot of factors that go into that, like it could be your funnel, it could be, you know, but I just wasn't getting seeing the results. And then come to find out, I spoke with other people about it, and they're like, no, I'm not getting results. And maybe in the beginning I was getting results, but that's why you need to track things and know your numbers, because if you find out, well, maybe you once had a good traffic source, and then if the numbers are not proving that consistently, you know, that's how you know, okay, well, maybe this is not working out, or maybe the numbers are telling you, okay, maybe you tweak something in your funnel that just made that all the difference, and then you don't have the numbers. There could be a lot of factors to do that, but knowing your numbers and where you started from the beginning and how you're progressing is how you figure these things out, and how you know whether to change something or to, you know, keep it the way it is. You know, it's really important to know that.
Yeah, I think even, for example, and this is just my example in this situation, but I use the numbers like you said, Renee, literally to change things. So there's been about 2 months that I'm running traffic for one of my, well, basically my main business and everything. And I can see definitely that there are some changes that I need to make in my funnel. Now, all the videos are done by me. There are some things that I think I can do better. So it helps me understand, okay, this needs to be improved here. but it gives you a number. I know, for example, for sure, every single week, what are the minimum amount of leads I can get per week. And so if I know that, then my next target would be, okay, how am I going to get a sale? How many numbers do I need to pass? How many times do I need to get opens? How many, if it's an email follow-up you're looking at, or if it's your videos on YouTube, but you literally have to be so specific that it keeps you running. It keeps the motion there, because otherwise you literally get frustrated. Honestly, you get frustrated. You reach a point while you're doing all this that you start to doubt yourself. And it may go off topic a little bit, but when you stick to knowing your numbers, sometimes you're doubting yourself because you're saying, hey, why am I not seeing results? As you said, why am I not seeing results? Why am I not seeing results? But then you know, hey, I've only been following this plan for a week. I've only been following this plan for a month. Then you start to get back into the rhythm of things. But there is a sense of doubt. We are going to feel that, whether it is an online business or an offline business or a hobby that you're starting. If you're learning to play a guitar or drums, or I always use this as an example, but anything, you need to practice in order for you to overcome a certain barrier and then go and into feeling like you can do it, right? I don't know whether you guys have read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, but he talks about the 10,000 hour principle, right? When you need to overcome 10,000 hours for you to be a professional. Now, it's an exaggerated number because you don't really need that much. But at the same time, what he means is that you can blindly do it, because at that time, it becomes natural. You know exactly what you need to do. It becomes a science more than anything else, right? So going through this process of knowing your numbers is literally like a science. So you're learning about yourself, about your marketing, about how you can brand yourself. And it's mainly about us as marketers. I have a different way. Renee has a different way. Aslak has a different way. Christian has a different way, for sure. So I think that's really valuable. My numbers will be much different from yours, and vice versa.
Yep. Yep. And the other important thing, and it goes along with that doubting, is that you can't, like you said, everybody has their own way of doing things. You can't compare yourself to other marketers. Now, it's okay once in a while to have a sense of what other marketers are doing for ideas and stuff, but if you put yourself in a category and, like, say that there's this guru marketer that you're following, it, you obviously are not going to get the same numbers as the guru person, and that's okay. Because if you focus on your numbers and what you need to do for your business, you're going to have less of that doubt. The more you focus on what the other marketers are doing and how many numbers they have, you're going to bring about that doubt, because you're not going to have those numbers. Because trust me, I've been in that position where I followed other people who were, signing up more people or made more, and it would frustrate me because I wanted those numbers and I was doing the best I could, but I didn't have the following, and I didn't, you know what I mean? So once I decided to focus more on, okay, here's what I know I can do. I can make this many videos a week, and I can, buy this much, traffic a week and stuff like that. Then I just focused on improving myself and improving my numbers rather than trying to reach someone else's numbers who's doing things, maybe similar, but not exactly the same thing, and not the same person. Like, everybody's going to have their own results. So it goes along with knowing and having that posture for yourself and having that confidence. And it takes work, it takes skill, and it takes time for you to get to that point. So yeah, it really ties all in.
I've doubted myself so many times in the past, like knowing numbers, because I know I'm doing the right things, but I'm not getting the same results. And I realized that it's my mentality that I need to change, literally, in knowing my numbers, right?
Yep.
For example, many people will talk about YouTube as a very powerful source, and it is. But I will tell you, you need time to grow your audience. Once you grow your audience, then you will start to see more lead generation through YouTube and stuff like that. But you need to know the intent before you actually get there. So your aim when you're starting on YouTube would be to build an audience, not to get 5 leads per day, because you don't have any following. So how are you going to get 5 leads per day?
Right. Exactly. I mean, and we know that the faster way to do that is with the paid traffic. I mean, trying to get it organically, 5 leads a day, isn't until you get to the guru status, then it doesn't really matter. But when you're brand new starting out, paid traffic honestly is the fastest way. However, as you go along and progress, you know, I get more leads now through like videos or Facebook Lives that I do, or like in LinkedIn and that following. But again, I've had to build up to that, you know, and the mistake people make in the beginning, and I'm going to say it like thousands of times for people to understand, is that people don't know how long it took, you know, the guru to get to that guru status. It could have been years to get that following, but the person coming in brand new doesn't know that. So when they see those numbers, it's deceiving in a way, because they think, now doesn't mean that you're not going to get results fast, okay, but they may not necessarily be guru results. It's going to be your results fast, okay, and that's really what it's about. And it's about you taking your control and your responsibility for what actions you need to do, and focusing on you rather than anything else. So I don't know, Christian, I know you got out. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, or you're just listening, or if you can talk or not.
I think he's stuck right now.
He might be stuck, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone else had any more that they wanted to add, because really it's about just setting a target, setting a number target, and starting from beginning and just working from there.
I can just give a little tips on the end here.
Absolutely.
Little off topic and topic.
Okay.
I go back to my other Twitter account. You see, when you follow, I mentioned this big Sunday with Martha tweet in the last sharing here. After I've begun to do that, I get people with big following beginning to follow me all the time. Look at this. I have never been, this is people who follow me, and they have no value for me. But if you begin to check the people who follow them and the people they follow, that's where you can find good leads, actually. That's a little tips there only.
No, it's a great strategy, and it's actually one of the things that I kind of figured out in the beginning. I wasn't necessarily talked about or taught to me in the beginning, but as I talk with other successful marketers, it said, yeah, that makes sense. And same thing can be in like LinkedIn and Facebook. If you look at the followers of, like, say, you know, there's a person like Grant Cardone or Ray Higdon that you like, you could basically click on who their followers are and reach out to those people and talk about, obviously, Ray Higdon, okay, you know, or like maybe there was a webinar Ray did recently or a video that he made, and you could say, well, did you see that recent video? Like, you could literally have a conversation, and you might have something in common that, you know what I mean? That's how you develop the relationship, you know, and increase your following. So yeah, you are absolutely right. If you click on the, you know, someone, and it doesn't have to be someone as famous as Ray Higdon or you know, but it could be just someone successful that you're following or in your circles, see who their followers are and just start connecting, and you just never know what can happen from that.
If someone have 500k followers, there are a reason for it, and many of the people who follow that person will probably be in the targeted leads area.
Yeah.
I just have one last thing to say, which may sound a little. Oh well, let's see. When you know your numbers, right? And as Lak said, these amazing tips that really help you understand your audience, your strategies, and everything more. But do you, or do we as individuals, need a plan, a strategy, a method in order for us to follow our numbers, or no? Because this is a question that many people have in mind as well. What do I do, right? What do I do to know my numbers? So do we need, what is your opinion, guys? I obviously have an answer to this. I think it is necessary for us to be completely congruent with ourselves and have a plan in that sense. So I know that, okay, as Aslak said, I need to do Twitter, I need to do YouTube, I need to do Facebook, and this is how I'm going to do it. But if I don't have a plan, I'm just shooting in the sky, right? So I think a plan is really, or a strategy, a method is really necessary for us. I don't know what you guys think as well about that, but I think it fits in really well with knowing your numbers and the tips that Aslak shared also.
I absolutely agree with you, David. You've got to have a plan. And every person, like you said, you can have a guideline or a blueprint and stuff like that, but especially for the brand new people, but at the end of the day, each person has to decide, okay, does this plan work for me? Okay. You got to give it some time, but sometimes someone else's plan doesn't fit with like who you are as a person. So you might have to tweak it for you, but it takes some time. You've got to give it a little bit of time to know that and develop that. But having a plan to start with, crucial, absolutely crucial to your success. Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, I thank everybody for being on today. If you felt any value in this, please get back to the person who shared this video with you. Share it yourself, and we will be back again next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.